We are living in the experimental and technical world. Our scientists never disappoint us through their spellbinding inventions. In our childhood, we used to see the moon from far away and ask our parents and grandparents what is in it. And some of us really wished to go to the moon when it seemed impossible. But now, in this digital and technical era, our scientists with their struggles and hard work made it possible for us. Today, in this video, we are going to explore a complex mission of our scientists which they have accomplished. Yes, we are going to talk about NASA Artemis One. Without any further delay, let's dive into it. Artemis One is the first in a series of increasingly complex missions that will enable human exploration of the moon and Mars. To send humans back to the moon for the first time in more than 50 years, NASA has been preparing. The flag is presently flying and the stars are visible. The space agency intends to undertake the maiden launch of the huge rocket system for its Artemis lunar exploration program as early as the end of August. The first mission, called Artemis One, will launch a vehicle around the moon without any humans on board. Artemis One is thus a trial run. It serves as a test run for the spacecraft, rocket system, and ground system. To land people on the moon by 2025, the ground infrastructure will be a crucial step. However, a number of technical, legal, and financial setbacks have plagued NASA and its partners over the past few years. To sort of make all that technical choreography work, there are a lot of aspects that NASA and its partners need to get right. How will NASA carry out this historic mission? And how can Artemis One pave the way for a space exploration program that goes beyond the moon's surface? NASA's mission to put people back on the moon involves numerous important spacecraft. The Space Launch System, SLS, is the type of rocket system that initiates the journey. On top of that, the Orion spacecraft detaches from the rocket and starts its own journey to lunar orbit. Additionally, a different lunar lander will be used to transport astronauts from lunar orbit to the moon's surface. The SpaceX-built lander is anticipated to be utilized on an upcoming Artemis mission scheduled for 2025. For the duration of the first trip, Artemis One, the crew capsule will orbit the moon. Before putting humans on board, NASA will test a number of vital systems, including life support. Similar course will be taken by Artemis 2, but this time with astronauts on board, and individuals will be transported to the moon's surface by Artemis 3. The expedition, according to NASA, will be historic in other ways as well. It will make it possible for the first woman and person of color to walk on the moon. The pathfinding mission Artemis One will establish the groundwork for upcoming lunar missions. Additionally, it will be the Orion crew capsule's first test flight as well as the launch of NASA's new mega rocket and space launch system. The spacecraft's heat shield will be tested, which is another important goal. The Orion capsule will experience extremely hot temperatures as it enters the Earth's atmosphere at Mach 32 or around 24,500 kilometers per hour. The goal is to put all the hardware and software to the test and demonstrate that the rockets can launch the spacecraft out of the pull of the Earth's gravity and that the spaceship can detach, go to the moon, and return to this planet without incident. In addition, NASA will keep an eye on Orion's navigational capabilities and radiation resistance. To assess how astronauts will perform during the voyage, 3 mannequins on board will be equipped with sensors. The spacecraft's recovery once it splashes down in the ocean will serve as another test. NASA's planned vehicles for Artemis One have experienced delays in the meantime. Initially, the mission was supposed to launch in 2021. Contractors building the various components of the SLS rocket system and Orion have encountered technical difficulties that they have had to resolve. They have also encountered issues with the supply chain, and some of these rockets are ones that NASA has not attempted to build and launch in quite some time. So getting back up to speed on making really big, really powerful rockets was part of the problem. It is anticipated that the initial Artemis rocket and the larger Artemis program will be expensive. The Inspector General of NASA estimated in November that the project would cost $93 billion over a period of more than a decade. Key expenses for the initial launch are anticipated to be over $4 billion. According to NASA officials, the organization is working to streamline processes and cut expenses for Artemis. Some of the contractors who are constructing the vehicles have claimed that the cost issue is partially related to the fact that we are producing these in a development mode for the first time. And because we are simply in production mode and not in this development stage of producing the vehicles for the first time, the cost of building future rockets and spacecraft should decrease. The Artemis programs at NASA have more long-term goals. Astronauts will live and work in deep space and will develop the science and technology to take the first humans to Mars, according to NASA Administrator Bill Nelson. The space agency intends to construct Gateway, a multifunctional outpost in lunar orbit. Additionally, the construction of a base camp on the lunar surface is discussed. In a broader sense, NASA claims that its plans to return to the moon will aid in getting ready for future Mars exploration. In her future plans, Artemis wants to send astronauts back to the moon and establish some kind of infrastructure there, seeking adventure and research. The plan is for NASA to construct the necessary technology, infrastructure, and know-how to make that happen, and then utilize that knowledge to explore the possibility of traveling to Mars as the next great frontier. As the launch date for Artemis One approaches, NASA is wrapping up a number of critical tests to make sure all the rocket systems are prepared. The target date of 2025 for sending people to the moon's surface and back is approaching rather soon. We will see if they can meet the deadline under the pressure that is sort of put on them. For more such interesting information, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.